We got it. Perfect.
It works.
Perfect. So, how are you today?
I'm doing really well. It is a beautiful sunny day, and I'm happy to be doing this.
That's great. That's great. How's the weather treating you so far?
How's the weather treating me so far? Well, it's really, really hot right now in New York. It is 95 degrees, which it usually doesn't get this warm. We've been having a lot of heat waves, and it's really humid. So it's a little tough, but I like the warm weather, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, that's good. And how's the week treating you also?
Good. Been pretty busy, productive, trying to, keep up with everything, auditions and friends, and just like balancing everything. So
that's good. Good. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. That's really awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, before we start, I have to give you an epic welcome. Now, if you watched some of my episodes, you know what I'm talking about. If not, let's go. There you go.
Thank you.
This is my favorite part. I don't know why. But anyway, so starting with the whole interview here. Now, tell me, where does your passion for acting and singing started?
It started when I was fairly young. So I started off as a dancer, a competitive dancer. I started dancing when I was 3.
Okay.
And I did that up until probably 10 or 11, maybe 12. And I auditioned for the school musical when I was in 6th grade, not having done musicals before. I was a dancer. I hadn't sung or, been on stage in that way before. So I auditioned, and the the music teacher actually, I think, called my mom and was like, "Did you know, like, she can sing?" Like, I had no idea. Then I did that, and I kind of just fell in love with the whole theatrical production of it. It's like, I loved to dance. I still love dance, but it was this combination of storytelling and singing and acting, and kind of just went from there. And I've always loved to be on stage.
That's so cool. So after completing the conservative program at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, you sailed to Disney Wonder, sailing all through Alaska, performing in shows such as Disney Frozen, Disney Dreams. So tell me, what are some of the best memories you had during that experience?
Wow. I have a lot of memories from that. One of the best memories, I think, would be that first opening night on the stage, because it was the biggest venue or biggest theater I've ever performed in. And I remember just feeling so grateful and so lucky that I was given this opportunity to perform for all of these people, and
of course
get to sail around the world and get to see all these amazing things. And the people I met are probably the best part about it, because it was, I'll be friends with them for life, and we got to experience that together, and like, we'll have that forever. So
absolutely. And I bet that it was also kind of thrilling, right? Like the whole emotion before going on stage, and like, how was that feel? Like all those feelings, right? And then once you were done, like,
right, it's that adrenaline, that like moment before you go on stage is like my favorite feeling in the world.
I bet.
It's like a mixture of nervousness, but you're just so excited to be there, and then you get out on stage and you feel the energy of the audience there, and there's nothing like it. It's magical.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have been in several plays such as Trapped, Empty, Showcase, Blood Relative, Cabaret, The Music Man, Ring Fire, Legally Blonde, and Nonsense. Now, from all of those plays, tell me how you usually prepare before going on stage.
So it really all depends on what the role I'm playing or what the part I'm playing calls for. So, for instance, like when I was doing Disney, I was very, my roles weren't too dance heavy, so I was really just focusing on like a vocal warm up and like getting my body just ready to do it. But when I was doing something like The Music Man, which was heavily dance focused,
Yeah.
you know, there was like a long period of stretching and just like making sure my body was ready to do that. And then for something like Cabaret, that was like everything. I needed to warm up my body, my voice, and also like get myself really present for what that role required emotionally. So it all sort of depends on like what is happening. And sometimes honestly, like I wouldn't do anything. Like I'll just kind of go maybe like a quick little vocal warm up and then I'll just go for it. It's, you know, it all really depends on
of course,
what the role calls for.
That's so cool. And you received an award for Best Lead Actress as Sally in Cabaret. Now tell me about that experience and what are some of the things that you enjoyed the most while doing the play?
Yeah, so that was really cool. I was really young at the time. I was 18 when I did that. And that was like my first big role I had ever played. And it's, I don't know if you've ever seen the show or know anything about the show, but it's quite intense. And she is a super complex, multifaceted character that takes a huge arc throughout the whole show. And that to me was like very intimidating and very daunting to think about to do. But I don't know, I felt like that was the first time I really felt myself on stage grow, and I was like, okay, this is really, really what I want to do. And this is like, there's nothing like this. There's nothing like performing live and being able to perform a material like this. So where was I going with that? Winning, and then I won the award for it, which was crazy, because I really did not expect that. And I just felt like that justified and like reassured me that, you know, the work I was doing was good, and that was being worked. That felt really, really good.
Yeah. How cool is that? How cool. So basically that performance was kind of the breaking point, right? In order to...
Definitely. That was like the catalyst for right before, you know, I left to go to school, to train more. And I feel like that just set me up to like really, you know, dip my toes in the water. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can do that.
Of course. And from all of those performances that you have at the moment, which one is like your number one, like the one that you enjoy the most?
I would say Cabaret is like definitely the highlight. Is one of my, I would say Cabaret for sure.
So and also that performance has been like the deepest learning curve. I mean, like the one that you learned more lessons from, right?
That one, yes, and also working with Disney too. That was a super, because that was my first time working for like a large, like really big scale company,
of course.
Like Disney company. So getting there and like being in the rehearsal room and learning how things like that work and how fast things go, like how fast you need to memorize things. And so that was a big learning curve for me too. And I was taking it all in because I was so excited and so fresh, and I was ready to like learn whatever I could. So yeah.
That's so cool. And what do you like the most about acting on stage?
The audience, having their energy there, and you give it right back to them, and it's this magical sort of exchange that happens that doesn't happen when you know, are acting on TV or film. Yeah,
of course.
Because that's, you know, very stop and go. But on the theater, it's you start at one point, your character starts at one point, and you end on another, and the audience is there with you, and you take them on this journey, and hopefully something strikes within them, and like you inspire them in some way, or you know.
And what do you think is the key to have a good performance?
Not watching yourself. So going out on stage and just being completely in the moment and present in what you're doing, and being confident that you've put in the work prior to the performance, that you can just trust yourself and like let yourself go in it and not be self-conscious in any way, or watching yourself or judging yourself, because the second you do that, you are taken out of the moment and you can't give an authentic performance. So I would say that's probably the most important.
And any advice that you could give to someone who recently started acting?
Yes. Never stop learning. Try to, just learn as much as you can from all different people. Get feedback from whoever you can, like people on the street, like, just always take time to invest in yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's really the most important thing, is like constantly feeding the artist in you and making that stronger and grow it. So yeah, I would say just like keep learning, never stop learning.
There you go. And moving on to your singing career. So for the Disney Cruise Line, you were singing in some of the plays. Now tell me, how did you prepare before starting singing on stage?
Yeah, so I do a vocal warm-up. Usually before I left AMDA, my voice teacher actually recorded an entire vocal warm-up for me. It was like the one we would do in lessons. And, he left like these sweet little messages too on it that were like inspiring. And so I always warm up to that. And it was kind of just like a reminder too of some affirmations that, everything was good. And also just like relaxing your body, because you can warm up your voice, but if you're tense or anything, you kind of just gotta shake that out.
Absolutely. And what do you like the most about singing?
To me, singing feels like flying.
Okay.
And it's the most freeing, beautiful feeling when you are completely lost in the song or the music that you're singing. And I don't know, that's where I feel the safest is in life, is like when I am singing and on stage. I feel the most secure there. And it's I have to remind myself that it was like I have a gift and I want to share that with people. I feel like that's my responsibility.
Absolutely. And what's your inspiration towards singing?
For me, it was like music has always, and singers for me who have inspired me or provoked a feeling or an emotion within me. It was like, I want to do the same. I want to, even if I could just inspire one person or change that person's day in a positive way, or have them, relate to me through music. That would be my biggest inspiration, is just like helping other people the way music has helped me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, I mean, if what you do moves one person, then definitely it's worth trying,
Right, that's all that matters. It can't be for yourself. It has to be for others, or else it just becomes kind of, you can't grow from that. You can't really do much with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And on your website, we will see several singing performances. Now, tell me about Poor Unfortunate Souls, and how was that experience?
That was really fun. So that was actually on the cruise line as well. But what was cool about that performance is it was a completely cast directed show. So the whole cast kind of got to pick their own song, and then we all put it together, and it was like a Halloween cabaret type of thing, but we did it for the passengers.
Okay.
And it was actually like one of the most well-reviewed shows that they had on there, because I think everybody got to pick what they wanted to do, so everyone felt really comfortable.
Yeah, of course.
And what was cool about that performance is like we were on the lift, so we like came up out of the stage, and then when it was over, we all just kind of like went back down. And yet again, it was really cool to perform something like that in front of so many people. There was like, there's like 1,300 people, so that it was so,
Yeah, that must have been
fun.
epic.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's so cool. And then we will see also on that website, we'll see Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Now, what do you like the most about that song?
The lyrics, definitely. I just think they're so important and beautiful, and yeah, I think everyone can relate to them in a way. And also I think it's one of like the prettiest melodies ever written.
Yeah. Now moving on to the Golden Rainbow Berlin Jazz Club. Now, was that like the first performance you had at singing? And what do you think is the key to have a good singing performance?
So that wasn't my first performance singing, but that was like my first time performing in a jazz club with a live pianist and a band, and kind of just getting up there and going for it. And what was actually very funny about that performance is, so I sang Golden Rainbow because at the time that was the song that I was auditioning with, and it was like my favorite thing to sing, and I really practiced it. And so I performed it, and it was very fun and amazing. And then after the show, this woman came up to me. Her name was Marilyn May, and she introduced herself, and I didn't know where it was going from there, but then she was like, I was actually the first woman to ever record that song. She was an older woman. She was probably in her 80s. Yeah. And it was like, that was actually, and it's a niche song. Like, it's not a well-known musical or piece. So she was like, yeah, I was actually the first woman to ever sing and record that song. And she was like, you did a wonderful job. And I was just like, wow, that's thank you. I didn't know that. Luckily, I didn't know that, because I feel like if I would have known the woman who like originated the song was in the audience, it probably would have made me nervous. But you know, her coming up to me and telling me that I did well was really special to me, and I knew she didn't have to do that, so it meant a lot. Yeah.
Wow, that must have been kind of that's so epic.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was really ironic. It was just that she was there that night. It was really cool.
How awesome is that? And if you could describe your career at the moment with a song, what would be the title of it?
I would say they just keep moving the line from Smash. You know, you do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden the industry changes, or they require more of you, and you just have to keep moving along with it, and you have to keep doing whatever is required.
Yeah, absolutely.
To stay relevant in this industry, because it really is changing every day, and it's very competitive, and you know, you have to just keep reminding yourself why you love what you do, and that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree on that. And what are like some of the what would be like some of the challenges that you had when you first started singing?
I didn't want to sing in front of anybody. I think I was really self-conscious about it and really shy. I still am to this day. I still can be pretty reserved about it and not want to do it all the time, which is silly because it's my favorite thing to do. But I think because it's my favorite thing to do and I feel so passionate and strongly about it, is why sometimes that prohibits us from doing it, because we have this perfectionism around it. Yeah. So I would say that's a big challenge, is like being a perfectionist, and that kind of can hinder you, because it's like the thing you love most you don't do because you're scared it won't be perfect. And then you get trapped in this endless cycle of being scared. I would say being scared is like the biggest thing to overcome.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And also I think when you start to criticize yourself, you know, like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do it, or maybe this is only for me, maybe it's like gonna maybe some people is not gonna like it, stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the feeling self-conscious and insecure is just such a huge part of the challenge that comes with, I mean, just in life, but especially in this career where you're picking a career where where people are going to be looking at you and listening to you. So there's always that kind of thing on your shoulder saying all this stuff. You kind of just have to get rid of that, because that will really stop you from doing it. But it's hard. I mean, it's hard. Some days are better than others. Some days you feel you're really just down and out about yourself. But that's okay, and that usually passes, and then you just have to start again the next day.
Tell me, like, any advice that you could give to any upcoming singers?
Kind of like what I said for the acting, it's the same thing. It's like you have to keep training, and you have to keep working at it and learning and taking class or taking lessons and singing whenever you can. Or because it's a muscle, or else it's the same thing as like going to the gym. If you don't work the muscle, then it is going to become weaker, and you're gonna have to start from a place that you could have moved past already. And like that, I mean, I definitely over the past year, there was like no excuse for me not to be singing all the time, but I just found that I wasn't for whatever reason. And now that I'm out of quarantine, and now that I'm like back into the swing of things in real life, I feel like now I'm realizing how important it is. Like we were talking about your youth, is like, now is the time. Now is the time to be doing it. And it's like, now is now. And if you wait any longer, that is time that has been wasted. That we'll never get back. And it's just, you can't waste time. Don't waste time.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And tell me, like, what motivates you? I mean, you have such an amazing career at the moment. You have lots of amazing moments as well. I mean, for singing, to acting, to go to Disney, to go to work with Disney, of course, to do like this, so many gigs. Like, what drives you to keep up moving and to keep up building this awesome career?
Because it's really the only thing that I want to do. It's like the thing that, I don't know, makes me feel the most human, the most alive, is when I'm doing that. And like we were just saying, it's like I don't want to have regrets at the end of life, or because you don't know when that's gonna be, and so it's like, I have always wanted to do this. I will always want to do this in any capacity. I'm not looking for fame. I'm not looking for wealth or anything like that. I would just love to inspire just one person, or, hopefully hundreds, thousands, like, and that they feel that they can pursue their dreams or do whatever they want to do, and that life is very precious, and you have to do what makes you happy.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's really cool. I do agree. I mean, as long as if what you do would make one person move or one person get inspired, then you're pretty much then you are on the good way, or the path to continue.
Right. Or someone comes up to you after a performance and they're like, you made my day. Like, I was having, I'm going through something, and that you really, really helped me today, and you really like took some of that pain away for even just 2 hours or however long whatever you're doing is. Like, that to me is what it's all about, is helping people, because at the end of the day, art is healing, and art is therapy. And that I feel is like the gift I want to give to the world. We all have a purpose here, in some capacity, to change the world, and I feel like mine is through singing and through expressing myself on stage or wherever it may be.
Yeah. And my last question here is, could you recommend any playlist or any playlist or artist for the weekend?
Any playlist for the weekend?
Yeah.
Does it have to be, it can be anything?
Anything.
Okay. Probably my favorite playlist at the moment, and if like you're just looking to have a good time on the weekend, is like any type of like early 2000s pop. Like, because it's like you'll know all the words to it. It's always a good time. Yeah. That's like my getting ready music. Or then of course like you could do like like dance remixes or whatever. But I would say early 2000s pop is the way to go. You can never go wrong with that.
Yeah, it's like your moment in which you will know all the songs. Yeah,
I know all the words to every single song. It's like anything from like 2004 to 2014 is like, I got it.
Yeah, and like instantly.
Instantly, yeah. I hear the intro and I'm like, I know all the words.
Sing the lyrics like instantly, like the other day. Like the other day, my little cousin. He's like 6 years old, right? And he was with his phone. And then he was watching a meme in which there was a song from Limp Bizkit. So instantly, I started to sing the song, like instantly, like without thinking. I was like, okay. And then I sang it, and then he looked at me, and then he was like, "What are you singing?" I'm like, "Hey, it's Limp Bizkit." And what's that? It's a band back from the 2000s. Dude, you're old. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. It's like it's old now. But yeah, it's songs I haven't heard in 10 years. Somehow I still know the words to. Like, it sticks with you.
Yeah, it will stick with you. Yeah. I hate those videos that whenever they would say like, if you know like the lyrics of this song, you're old, and then all of the songs back, and then you know all of them, and you're like, yeah, I think I'm old.
Yep. That's so funny.
Absolutely. Now, Annalee, thank you so much for being here at the show. It was super awesome. I can't wait to see more of your awesome work. I really hope that one day you will have like your singing career at the top, maybe an album, maybe a bunch of albums, maybe a world tour, why not? And the fact that you are just pursuing it to like inspire people and everything, that's really cool. And I think that if something it's needed these days it's finding reasons to get inspired. And if by that, and if we can get inspired with your music, then absolutely. Let's do this. Now, before I send you off, I need to send you up again in an epic way. So, you know what is coming. There you go. I swear this is my favorite moment. But anyway. And again, thank you so much for being here. Those who are watching, thank you so much for those who tune in. Also, those who are listening to this later on the podcast, thank you so much for listening. And those who are watching this on the YouTube video later, also thank you for watching. And make sure that you are following Annalee all over social media. What I would suggest is for you to put pause for a while, follow her, and why not sharing a couple of her content here and there? Probably show to your friends, family, the talent she has with singing. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was special. Thank you. I needed this. I feel like talking about it is another way to get inspired. It's like have these types of conversations. So
absolutely. And people do get inspired. So have an amazing rest of the day and an amazing weekend, and I'll see you in the next one then.
Thank you. You too. Thanks.
Have a good one. Bye.